Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about the brand new eyeshadow quads from Guerlain. So I hauled these in a recent haul video, and I had purchased them off of the Guerlain site. They had disappeared. I didn't know really what happened. I got a few comments letting me know that those were kind of like a pre-sale or like a preview of these quads. I'm usually late to the game. I guess I just happened to like see that they were available that one time. So anyway, I purchased three of them, and I just got like a notification from one of my amazing followers on Instagram that these are now available on Sephora. So I went on to Sephora today, the day that I'm filming. It's like this app exclusive. But tomorrow, or today, the day that I'm uploading this video, they are going to be available on Sephora's site. It's not just going to be like a Rouge and an app exclusive. And it looked like they only have three of the quads. I have two out of the three that they have available. And the third one that I purchased, they don't seem to have. So I'm just going to focus on these two, which I think is enough because I'm going to do full eye looks with these two quads. So why don't we go ahead and get started with Imperial Moon. This one is so gorgeous. Here is a close-up of the palette. And these are all baked gelée formula, which you guys know, I am really, really in love with. You just get such a beautiful, like sheer wash. You can build up. You have these beautiful finishes every time they're like this baked product. So we pretty much have four different finishes in this Imperial Moon. The very deep black shade is almost like a satin shade. It's like a creamy kind of satin shade. The silver shade up here is like a sheer kind of topper shade. And then we have this beautiful cool toned kind of taupe shade, which is like a beautiful metallic. And then this peach shade in the lower right hand corner is like a creamy matte as well. It just has a teensy bit less shine. The black doesn't even really have shine, but it's just a little bit more matte than the black shades. So they're all very, very unique. And let's go ahead and just dive right into a demo. I have some of my favorite eye brushes out here that I love to use with baked gelée products. This is the Worker 1 and the Worker 2 from Sonia G. And I just love these because the shape is great. They're like a thick, flat brush, if that makes sense. And they're also very, very dense. So they pick up like baked products really nicely. So I'm going to start with my Worker 1 brush. I'm going to go into this peach shade, the bottom left-hand corner. And I'm going to apply this pretty much all over my lid, except for the very outer corner. So like the inner corner over through the center part of my lid. And I think this is kind of meant to be a matte kind of shade, but because these are like a baked gelée formula, they just have this inherent creaminess to them that keeps them from looking too dry. And applying to the other eye here. So there is that peach shade laid down. I am going to take my Worker 2 brush and go into this metallic shade here. I love this shade. It is so, so gorgeous. And because these are a baked gelée formula, you can actually use these products wet or dry. They're much like the Tom Ford wet dry formula. I just tend to use them dry. It's just easier for me. It's like a no-brainer. So I'm using these dry, and I like having this sheer veil of color. If you use them wet, they'll definitely be a little bit more opaque, a little bit thicker, a little bit more intense, shinier as well. Sorry, I had a different setting on my camera, so I should appear a little bit brighter, a little bit more true to life now. Okay, so there is that taupey shade. I pretty much have it on the outer corner, and I brushed it over the center of my lid. This is such a beautiful one and done shade. And there is a little bit of like just a slightest bit of like a pinky kind of purpley undertone to this cool toned taupe. So it's really, really beautiful. And again, it's something you can just build up. I'm just going to add a little layer here to the outer corner, just to add a little bit more dimension there. That's stunning. And then I'm just going to take my finger and grab some of this silver top coat and just put this right in the center of my lid. Of course, you don't have to use all of these shades. I just want to demo all of them for you. And I'm going to take my first brush and just blend that out. All right, so I'm going to take this detail brush from Sonia G's latest mini Keyaki set. I'm going to go into this black shade. And what I liked about it was that it looked kind of smoky already when I swatched it out. It wasn't just this like this really deep, dark, opaque, solid like black swatch. Like there was a little bit of like translucency there. Not to say it looked patchy, but just that like it already looked smoked out. So I am going to apply this to my lash line here and basically smoke out this whole look. This palette is perfect for an evening kind of look. Just applying it a little bit thicker on like the outer corner here. And whatever is left over on my brush, I'm going to drag it along my lower lash line. I don't want anything too raccoony, but just a little bit. And of course you can wing this out if you want something a little bit more dramatic. I'm not really doing a wing, I'm just making sure the line, this black line, is a little bit thicker on the outer portion of my lid. And then again, just taking the leftover and running that along my lower lash line. I do see a little bit of fallout from that silver shade. So just FYI, I probably went in a little too aggressively with my finger. I think you can just tap and kind of tap it on your lids, but I really kind of went hard. And I'm going to take my Worker 2 brush, the one that I used for that taupey shade, and I'm just going to work it over the black just to kind of blend it out and smoke it out even more. And normally I would add, a black eyeliner probably to my waterline, tight line, and of course add mascara. But because I'm going to be taking all of this off so that we can do a look with the second palette that I have that's available on Sephora, the Royal Jungle one, I don't want to do all that because I'm just going to be rubbing, my eyes are going to be all red to remove all of that before applying this next quad. So anyway, here is Imperial Moon. Really beautiful, beautiful quad, very versatile. I love that you can create like more of an evening look with that black shade, but you can keep it really, really natural with like these two shades down here. Of course, that silver adds a pop of metallic. So that is Imperial Moon. Let me go ahead and remove this and we'll move on to Royal Jungle. All right, next up we have Royal Jungle. This is what the palette looks like. And here are the 4 swatches of the shades inside. And much like the Imperial Moon, we have kind of just like a slight variety of finishes here. We have a topper, we have like some satin finishes, and then we have some metallic. So just a really beautiful like shade range and also a beautiful variety of finishes. All right, I have a clean Worker 1 brush here. I'm gonna go into this copper shade here in the bottom right-hand corner and apply this the inner corner here. And then I'm going to go into the brown shade up here and apply this to the outer corner and blend in. And then taking this Bobbi Brown eye sweep brush with no product on it and using that to blend out these shades. So those are just 2 shades on. I would probably normally stop here, just like a kind of like a dinner night out kind of look. But of course I'll demo the rest of these shades here for you. So I'm gonna pick this shade up with my finger. This is like the topper shade in this quad. This probably has a little bit more oomph to it than the one in Imperial Moon, which was really kind of sheer. This one has a little bit more of a base to it. You can probably tell already. But just adding it to the center of my lid there. And I cleaned off that detail brush and I'm going to use it in the same way with this dark brown shade here. I'm going to use it to line my eyes And this brown is much like the black in Imperial Moon. I didn't feel like it was overly pigmented. It had like a natural smokiness to it, really making it very easy to use. Okay, just taking the leftover and running it underneath. I'm actually going to take this brush. I'm going to go into this shade here, the detail brush, and I'm picking up that like topper shade that I used in the center of my lid, and I'm just going to apply it a little bit along my lower lash line. Just adds a little, I don't even know if you guys can see it, but it just adds a little bit of pizzazz, I guess you could say, to that brown on the lower lash line. So since that is the last quad I'm going to be demoing, I'm going to add a little bit of eyeliner and some mascara, and I'll be right back. All right, all done. So that is the Royal Jungle quad. I'm really enjoying these quads. I made a mental note that I wanted to compare these to the Tom Ford Wet Dry formula eyeshadows. I still think that I enjoy using the Tom Ford formula a little bit more. The shadows in both the Imperial Moon and in the Royal Jungle, like the ones that are a little bit more matte, those had a little bit of like grip to them. So I didn't find them to be the easiest to blend out. I did use those like along my lash line. They do like eventually, but there's like a little bit of grip. And in fact, I probably experienced it the most with this peach shade here in Imperial Moon because I use that kind of all over my lid. And then in terms of the other finishes, the more sort of, I guess you could say typical like wet dry formula, the ones with like just the beautiful metallic sheen, I thought they were very beautiful and I thought they applied very nicely. But there's something about the Tom Ford ones, I feel like I guess they're just a little bit more pigmented. I had to go into the pan a couple of times with the Guerlain to like build up this copper shade, where I don't feel like I have to do that with the Tom Ford. But overall, these are really, really lovely. I really, really like the color stories that they came out with. They're just gorgeous. And I know this one looks very much like Suspicion from Tom Ford. This one looks very much like another Tom Ford. I can't think of the name. I'll put it down below in my description box. But there is like a slight bit of difference. And I like that these quads have like different finishes, where the Tom Ford wet dry formula, they're all pretty much the same. They all go from a satin to like a metallic, like they're all like in that family, where Guerlain really kind of gave us some more matte shades, which I definitely appreciate. So those are my thoughts on the new Guerlain Ombre G quads. This, by the way, is the outer packaging, and they do have like velvet pouches that these quads come in. I'm really, really happy that Guerlain is like redoing their quads. I don't think I've actually had much experience with Guerlain eyeshadows except in their like limited edition holiday palette. I think I got the one maybe like 3 years ago at this point. It had like a gold cover. Anyway, that was very nice, but it was I guess pretty ordinary or pretty typical in terms of formula. So I'm really excited that they've come out with these baked quads. Very exciting. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I do have a third quad that I will use probably in a trying new makeup video. Hopefully it'll pop up on Sephora. If not, I do believe these are available on the Guerlain site. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.